The Vegas Golden Knights are making people excited about hockey again. How can the NHL keep this going?
Go Bridgeside!
This is Brooklyn versus Hockey in America. I'm your boy Mike Boo. Over here's DB, and rounding out the crew, we got Philly Cags shooting bows. So I'll start with you, Phil. Have you been watching the NHL playoffs, and what do you think about this Vegas night team? Are they making NHL exciting again?
I have. While I'm not a big regular season NHL guy, which I always hope to be, I love the NHL playoffs. And I have.
We don't appreciate you, but that's okay. That's okay.
I was just telling them before. Every NHL playoffs, I get really excited. I'm like, that's it. I gotta watch next year's regular season, and then I fall flat. So, but I will say, Vegas has been awesome, and has been a great story. And I think it's good. It's great for the NHL when you get a city that's not really a quote unquote hockey city, and you have them doing good right out the chute like that. I think that can only be good for hockey, like Nashville.
Yeah, so they've been adding a lot of excitement. So what else can the NHL do to kind of continue this momentum and kind of add more interest to people in America? Because it has been slowly growing. What can it do to kind of add to this and keep this momentum going? What do you want to say?
Well, all right. It is helpful that they have the expansion teams doing well. I mean, the Nashville's super exciting. Then
Fans
going to Vegas, super exciting. Great new venues. A lot of fans that don't have other sports to go wild about. So, but that's limited, though, unfortunately. What they're going to have to do is what the other sports are doing now, that being football and basketball, and that's marketing certain stars. You have it for Sidney Crosby to a good degree. I mean, Ovechkin to a very small degree, really, when you hit the playoffs only. I mean, so you got to start marketing young stars like Connor McDavid, you know, guys like this that are coming in, and just really push them.
How do they do that? How do they market these stars? Phil?
I think the biggest young star that came that they got to jump on is Austin Matthews.
Right.
From Arizona, and I believe he's of Mexican descent. So now we're talking about a lot of options. We're broadening. You said Connor McDavid, Canada. Everyone knows that's hockey.
Right.
But now we got the southern states, which are warm states. We have Mexico, obviously warm. Not usually big hockey places. Now you're starting to get more and more. And Austin Matthews is a great player too.
But how do you market him? How do you do that?
Well, just how does any other sport market any star? You try to focus, get commercials, things like that.
I got to see him on Beats commercials, Gatorade. I got to see him on selling Xerox paper, everything.
So you guys think it's more of like a branding issue, and it's not so much about the game itself?
You got to try it, though, is what I'm saying. It's an avenue to go down. It might not be everything, but it's got to be a part of it. They have to be in the zeitgeist, the NHL, the players.
All right.
It's got to be seen. People have to see it. They start to wonder, all right, what's that all about? Oh, I got to take a look at the game to see what this guy does. He's an amazing player. Like you're saying, Austin Matthews. Like, all right, I see him in this. Why is he so famous that he's doing this? Oh, I got to check him out. They'll go, maybe they'll get a taste for the game. You'll start to see guys that you know less, and you become a fan, you know, just a fan of teams.
So, I mean, I like what you said before, too, about the expansion teams. They've had a lot of success. I think they got to continue that going. There's a couple franchises that just need to go. Arizona, it needs to no longer exist, okay? They need to be quicker to cut these teams that are not drawing and they're not doing anything, because I think it's a city like Seattle would do very well.
I think they'll get one sooner than later, actually.
Right, well, it needs to happen. They need to pull the plug.
I think Seattle's getting a team, if I'm not mistaken.
Seattle put in a bid.
They've put in a bid before, too, though.
I know. Well, because NHL raised the price of the bid. It went from Vegas was $500 million for Seattle. They charged them $650.
Well, I have to say that is part and parcel to the fact that they are actually seeing growth, though. That's why, and they're probably getting a little bit greedy now.
To go with Donnie said, what you said, they altered the game. After the lockout, they took out the blue and they made no more two-line pass. They increased scoring. They increased scoring.
And scoring's went up.
And it has. So they've done the game, tinkering or tweaking to the games. And now, I agree with Donnie's too. Now you maybe find another route. Try to market these stars more because you think the game. Try to bring that together. You think you've done enough for the game to increase the scoring.
So, Phil, do you think that there's no more tweaks that should be done to the game? It's pretty much set.
How much more are you going to do? You probably
you can do a lot more.
So what would you do?
This is not baseball where it's a sacred game. NHL hockey, it can be tweaked. They've tweaked it many times.
So what would you do?
The overtime was a crazy thing. So if you're going to get
3-on-3,
if you're going to get crazy with it, I think the best tweak would be to, because I think some of the most exciting plays in hockey are when you have odd man breaks, when you have two-on-one, stuff like that, and when you have just power plays. So I think 2-minute power plays, if you score a goal, you still have you still have the power play. You get the full
like a
2
5-minute
minutes.
major.
Exactly. You get the full 2 minutes. And if you want to make power plays 3 minutes, make it 3 minutes, right?
Well, I was actually going to say this, just to add to that. What about for a really heinous foul? You just have a team that has to play a whole period without one of their players.
Now it's like soccer. Now it's like soccer.
Absolutely.
Give them the red card and throw them out.
There's a lot of similarities between the two. Why not kind of take some of the ideas from soccer? But I also think that one other thing you could change, the goalie pads are ridiculous. Go back to the 80s when you have the pads real small.
What about the mask?
Listen, the mask can stay, but the pads are ridiculous, okay? And I think they need to be a little bit scaled back.
What else, Pops? You don't want any glass on the visor again?
Listen, and this being said, I love the game, and I think it's very exciting. But if they're going to try to get out there and get into different, little markets, then I think that's what they might have to still tinker with the game. I don't think it's completely done and perfect.
They did drastic changes, previously. Now it's just tinkering or tweaking, like you said. So I think they could do it. Do you think it will ever pass one of the other 3 major sports?
Football maybe with all the concussion stuff. I don't know. That seems to be the one that might go, but gambling keeps that alive. So
that's exactly what
so high.
I can answer this one. Yes, I do. At one point, think that it has a chance to pass basketball. Wow. Why? If you look at the stats during the regular season, basketball does absolutely zilch ratings. Yeah. It does not do well during the regular season.
It won't do. I'll tell you why, dude. It won't because anybody can pick up a basketball and go down to the park. This is a major problem with hockey, and I don't know how to fix it, especially in America, down south. There's no access to ice rinks to play hockey, and that's the big problem. First of all, it's very expensive.
Anybody lower to middle income has a tough time
playing.
Very
expensive, and you can't play everywhere. Or there's really not a lot of places to play everywhere. So that's what's hurting it, and I don't know how to fix that, quite honestly.
But I was going to say, though, just to finish that point up, they do, I believe, absolutely have a chance because of that, though. But that's another problem that they also have to fix to get there.
You can't fix that. How do you fix that?
There's going to have to be a lot of community investment into that. You have to have more people playing hockey in cities, both cold weather and warm weather. You have to have roller hockey if you can't get ice hockey, because the roller hockey kids will still be fans of the ice hockey game. You have to do whatever you can to get those sticks in kids' hands. That's it.
But for that to happen first, I think you need to have, like Phil said, you started with a good point. You have to get it out to more kids, get them interested, and then you can really have the community try to, put it together. Because right now, it's still not. It's not the game people are talking about in schools. No. You know what I mean? It's not.
Well, and that'll
in New York, it's not happening.
And that'll be through the players, though.
And New York is an original
players. They have to want to be Austin Matthews or John Tavares.
Exactly. Think about basketball.
They have to want to be the players.
Yeah.
They don't even talk about basketball teams anymore. It's just players.
Yeah.
Like if I talk to younger kids, like, who do you like? The Trailblazers. Why? Because I love Damian Lillard. Yeah. Players drive the NBA. So I think the NHL needs to try to do that as opposed to teams the same way.
Yeah, nobody knows anything about the Hawks because nobody's on the Hawks.
Yeah, exactly.
They literally have zero roster.
There's just not a player.
It's not a team.
All right, guys. So, I mean, to wrap it up, basically it sounds like what we're talking about here is we need to see more commitment to marketing.
Oh, yeah.
We need to see possibly some new expansion teams continue with Vegas because it's been a huge success. Have you seen the stadium, how rocking it is?
Yeah.
It's
and it's in a great area also, apparently. Right in the nice part of the Strip.
Yeah. Possibly some tweaks in the rules to maybe increase scoring. I wouldn't love it, but I would be open to it depending on what it is. And some more commitment by the community.
I'd say investment just in general.
Right. So there's a lot that needs to be done. It can be done for the sport to still rise.
Talk to us.
Gary Bettman, hit us up. Bridgeside.
Go Bridgeside.
Gary Bettman, talk to me.
Hopefully he hits us up.
Call Mr. Bridgeside.
That was good.
He's feeling nuts.
He's not busy right now.